Hello, my name is Joaquin Crespo, and today we're going to talk about the Rosetta Stone and the implications it may have, the possibility for it to be returned to Egyptian museums and be taken away from the British Museum. But first, we need to discuss what the Rosetta Stone actually is. It is a very old artifact. It has more than 2,000 years old. In there are kept three texts. These texts describe the taxing policy of Ptolemy V. But what is really interesting about these texts is that two of them are written in Egyptian languages, and the third one is written in ancient Greek. The text in Greek was very important because it allowed the archaeologists of that time to finally be able to translate and decipher what the Egyptian hieroglyphics meant. So it was very important because it tapped open all the knowledge, all the historical knowledge, not only about Egypt but of other civilizations that shared the same space and time, to all the academic fields of that time, even linguists and anthropologists and everyone. The Rosetta Stone had a huge impact on the academic society of that time. It represented a link between the modern world and the ancient Egypt. It was discovered in 1799 by a French captain during the Napoleon's conquest of Egypt, but then it was captured in 1801 by the British Army and sent to the British Museum, where it is now. But now we go to modern times and meet Dr. Zahi Hawass. He is the Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities. That is a very long and cool title, but his job is also important. He's a very vocal and prominent academic that is clearly campaigning for Egyptian museums to return valuable artifacts that were taken from Egypt to Egypt. One of his most famous campaigns is to retrieve the Rosetta Stone from the British Museum. His claim rests on the grounds that the stone was stolen as part of colonial oppression, and it was illegitimate for the British to not return it. But now we will discuss what the Rosetta Stone actually means, not only in the time it was discovered, but what can it signify for us now. In the time it was discovered, it was a paradigm shift, as described by Thomas Kuhn. I'm sorry. Because, as I said before, it allowed all the archaeologists to finally get access to all that knowledge that had eluded them for many years. But today it also could represent a paradigm shift, not necessarily in archaeology, but more in how the knowledge is distributed around the world and the power that comes with it. The fact that such an important artifact could be returned from the metropolis to the colony will represent a paradigm shift in the distribution of knowledge, because it could represent a first step in the decolonization of knowledge, and also a post-colonial political will that wants to get rid of the vices that came with colonization, both for the colonized and the colonization, for the conquerors, because it affects all, because knowledge is not adequately distributed around the world, and it affects all of us. Also, it is very interesting to discuss the context in which the stone was acquired. Seen previously, it was discovered by a French captain, but it is interesting to see how Europeans in that time had two main views. One was the manifest destiny of Christian civilization that need to spread around the world with military prowess and